Hello everybody and welcome back to Odin's movie vlog. I am the critic who is a cynic. Hope doing well, and today I have a second video because we've now got some breaking news of some pretty big releases that are now getting delayed. One that was going to be released over the summer, which now raises a lot of questions as to what is the summer movie season going to look like? Are studios going to be hedging their bets and waiting to see whether or not they're going to have the releases? Are they going to do like a couple of films that we're about to talk about and make announcements that they're going to delay these things further? We honestly don't know, but either way, not looking good for the box office in general, and not looking good for a lot of these releases as well. Obviously, we have our thoughts and prayers for everyone that's being affected by CV around the world. And that, of course, is going to be the primary focus of my prayers. But at the same time, too, I do cover movie news. I do cover the box office. And this is going to have a tremendous impact on both of those things, both in the movie industry and also in the box office. So firstly, I would say probably the biggest one of the two I'm going to talk about today is that the Fast and Furious 9 has now been delayed until April of 2021. The reason why this is a pretty big news is not necessarily because it's in the Fast and Furious franchise, which, again, is pretty major franchise now at this point, whether we like the previous films or not. What I can say, though, is that this film now being delayed is the first that I know of as far as big summer releases that have been delayed. So this is not something that was expected to be released in March or even April. This is something going so far out as, say, May, June, July. And so now we're looking at other studios potentially following in their footsteps, saying, all right, we're just going to delay films until next summer or to next year. And if that happens, that means basically this year's box office is a bust. Now, that could mean good news for the studios because it means that they will be able to release those films and not have to worry about losing money on them. However, it also means that they have to hold back on those movies that they've already spent money on to make, they've already spent money to promote, and now they have to continue promoting and change those promotions, which means we could potentially see production budgets get ballooned if they decide to go back in and do some extra filming during that time period to fix certain things or to add certain things or change anything. And also as well, they could end up spending a lot more on the actual marketing budget because they've already spent so much on, like, especially for films coming out in March. You know, they've already spent so much money promoting those films for an imminent release, and now they're going to have to delay that. And so we actually do have another delay to talk about. And this one is the one that I care more about, I guess, as far as movies go, because, you know, I do like the Fast and Furious franchise, mostly movies 1 through 6. 7 was not very good. 8 was not very good. Hobbs and Shaw was not very good. And so I don't really have a lot of high hopes for number 9. But this one is one that I was looking forward to, and that is that A Quiet Place Part 2 has now been delayed as well to help to avoid a coronavirus crisis. So this was broken earlier by Deadline, and now it has been confirmed by Paramount. The official statement from Paramount states, after much consideration in the light of ongoing and developing situation concerning CV and restrictions on global travel and public gatherings, Paramount Pictures will be moving the worldwide release of A Quiet Place Part 2. We believe in and support the theatrical experience, and we look forward to bringing this film to audiences this year once we have a better understanding of the impact of this pandemic of the global theatrical marketplace. And so, as you can see, they have not released a new release date for this movie. For Fast 9, they said April of 2021. It doesn't look like we have an exact date on that, just that it's going to be April of 2021. Hold on, so April 2nd. Okay, so according to the official Twitter page for the movie, April 2nd is going to be the date for Fast and Furious 9. Quiet Place 2 does not have that. I imagine that most films, if they delay, are going to have something similar to A Quiet Place Part 2, where obviously you have, I talked about this on the video I just did earlier today, talking about how No Time to Die, the new James Bond film, has been pushed to November, and so they gave us an actual date. I think a lot more films are going to be in this limbo where they are holding off on their initial releases to try and clamp down on public gatherings at the movie theater, but they don't necessarily want to announce a new release date because we honestly don't know what the impact of this virus is going to be. We don't know the impact of CV around the world. It could clear up in 2 weeks. It could become really bad in 2 weeks, right? There are a lot of different factors at play here. It really depends on how these governments of our own country, of various other countries around the world, start to react, what the testing does, what we're able to do to try and to help the people that are sick, how we can try and keep people from getting sick. And again, the only thing I can really say, I'm not a medical expert, is just to try and avoid public spaces if you possibly can, to prepare for the worst. Again, it's always better to be ready than to not be prepared at all. Maybe start buying some canned goods, things like that. Don't go out and buy toilet paper. That whole thing has been so stupid. but also at the same time, do some smart things in your interactions with other people. If you don't have to shake someone's hand or have public interactions with someone in a physical way, don't do it. Wash your hands, right? If you've been touching a lot of things out in public or at your job, wash your hands, clean the environment around you. Basically do stuff that you probably should be doing anyway to not get sick. But at this point in time, that's pretty much all we can do. But anyway, what are your thoughts on this? Do you think we're going to have a deluge of new, I think I said that right, of new studios and new films that are going to be pushed forward, or rather are going to be pushed back and are going to be delayed? What does this mean for films that are currently out? Again, we've already talked about how Onward is set to be a gigantic financial failure for Disney, and a lot of that has to do with the fact, I think, that they decided to go through with the release while all this was going on. And to be fair, at the time, we didn't really have a whole lot of information when it was released. We didn't really have a lot of mindset. We knew that it was being affected in China, but we didn't really have anything going on here in the U.S. But now we've got several states declaring states of emergency. My own home state of Tennessee has now just declared a state of emergency. So there's a lot more things going on now. And so I personally think that we're going to see a lot more studios and movies get delayed, which, of course, as a movie buff, as a movie fan, is very sad. But at the same time, too, it is something that I think is possibly needing to be done because we want to try and stop the spread of this as much as we possibly can. And I hope that the theaters decide to start implementing their own measures, actually cleaning the seats. Having worked at a movie theater, I know we did not disinfect seats the way that we probably should have. Obviously, we had a separate cleaning crew that would come in at night, and I think that was supposed to be a part of their job, but do I honestly believe that they did that? No. That's probably something that they should look into, though, because this is going to be a very serious situation if we don't start getting these things under control, and that's one way that they could do it. But anyway, let me know your thoughts about this. What films do you think could get delayed next? Excuse me. Do you think that we're going to see other studios start to do the same thing and delaying their releases? And what does this mean for the summer box office? Again, summer box office is always the biggest time of the year for the biggest films of the year. And having films like Fast 9 already going on. Again, that's Paramount over here. I'm trying to think and remember what studio is responsible for the Fast and Furious franchise, because that might explain whether or not it's, let's see, Fast and Furious 9 is being done by Universal. So Universal and Paramount are two studios that have now gotten onto this. So when is Warner Brothers going to get involved? When is Disney going to get involved? When are some of the other studios, some of the smaller studios, are they going to start delaying their releases as well? Again, obviously we have two new movies coming out tonight. We got that controversial film called The Hunt coming out tonight. Emma, which is a smaller release film, is getting a wider release too. What is going to be the impact of those movies? Are they going to stay in theaters? Are they going to just start pulling movies out of theaters? A lot of things could happen, and a lot of chaotic stuff behind the scenes, and especially a lot of money lost as well. It's just not looking very good, and it's getting more and more serious as time goes on. But let me know your thoughts about this and all things talked about in the comment section below. If you like this video, smash the like button, give us a subscribe. It helps us a lot. You're all amazing and beautiful people. Have a wonderful day, and as always, God bless. And now to give a special shout out to my March Patreon and Subscribe Star members: animation commentator Brian P., Dion, David Brobrizik, Divex, Elizabeth M., Enrique Evangelista, Father Christopher Miller, Hail Father, Frank the Tank and the Shawhan Wiener Dog Clan, Harold Francis, the Honker Chonker Funky Monkey, Inflamed Wood, Trap Productions, Jason Clark, Jeffrey Toon, J.J. Jonathan Jerembeck, Kenneth Camiel, Lady T, Mad Mitch Dunaway, Mr. Peabody and his evil twin with the beautiful hair, Orange Hat Reviews, Outpost Dyer, Perpetual Punster, Riff Magos, Riff Racer Request, Rosetta Allen, Sir Lancelato, Steve Glasker, Teresa Martin, Theodore Bendon, The DJD Show, and Tina B for Patreon, and my Subscribe Star peeps: Robert Revo, Larry, Mr. Roy, Glinzer, G2 Cool 99, Dark Star 57, Alex McCarthy, US 888209 Fast, Dean Heiss, Harold Francis, J-Rod the Beer Guru, Nebadan G. Adams, and ZK Man, and Mike Jackson. Thank you all so much for being my Patreon and Subscribe Star members for the month of March. You are all amazing people. Thank you so much for the support, and I hope that you are enjoying your perks. If you do not know the perks that you get, make sure you read again through all the perks that are listed, and also check your messages if you're over on Patreon, because if you are a $5 and up backer on Patreon, you get special access to giveaways over on the Discord. I send out messages with a link to join the Discord server. I will then hook you up over there, and you'll have access to some really cool giveaways. giveaways. I give away 4Ks, Blu-rays, digital codes, try and give away at least a couple of big movies, 4K Blu-ray titles a month, and try to do at least 2 to 3 giveaways for when it comes to digital download codes. And I might try and do a little bit more this month as well, because I'm always trying to add extra stuff to it. And also, if you are a $10 or up backer, then you have access to a special podcast that I'm starting to do with John the Flick Pick. That's right, John Flickinger of the Flick Pick channel. We're having a lot of fun with the podcast, and so expect that every couple weeks. And of course, also any extra behind the scenes, extra footage, extra interviews, extra solo podcasts as well, you will also have access to. And my special $25 and up backers on Patreon Subscribestar, you have access to all of those things that I've listed. You also get a t-shirt. That's right, I will send you a t-shirt for your first month. And of course, you can also be featured on the Chosen to Valhalla live stream once a month. You get to be featured on the Odin's Movie Blog channel. It's always usually on a Sunday around 12 p.m. Eastern time. You get to join some lovely peeps and have some really great discussion with all of the Chosen of Valhalla and me with the live audience. Anyway, you guys are all amazing and beautiful people. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. And as always, God bless.